All right, let's talk Halo. So, I've been thinking a lot about Halo Infinite lately and essentially what we need to do to get this game out of this funk that it's in, right? And for a long time, I didn't think it was possible. I thought that there was no way that the game could ever make a comeback, and honestly, it was better to just give up on it, right? And there's been a lot of leaks and things like that kind of corroborating what I'm saying. But then some things started happening. Some crazy things started happening. First of all, the management shakeup, I think, is going to do wonders. Get some new, fresh eyes in there, especially Pierre. He's somebody who has proven himself capable of turning around and righting the ship, you know, with Master Chief Collection after that horrible launch. And I still think the worst launch we've ever seen. Master Chief Collection, I think, is the worst multiplayer launch in gaming history. So if they can turn that around to be something competent that we have now, you know, even if it doesn't have a lot of players, I think Master Chief Collection is a glorious, glorious game that is only getting better, right? The same thing can happen to Halo Infinite. It's just going to take some time, some effort. But again, I did not think it was even possible. I didn't think we were ever going to see Halo Infinite make any sort of comeback. But I started looking at some raw numbers. The only raw numbers we have access to, of course, being Steam numbers, right? If you look here with me, you'll see that the player-based numbers are kind of plateauing. You're sitting pretty at about 3,000 average players every month on Steam, right? And the thing about Steam numbers and why it's important to look at them, right, is not that it is indicative of the entire player base, but it is indicative of trends of the entire player base, right? So if you're looking at Steam numbers and you're seeing that the numbers are barely falling, maybe 6%, 3%, they're sitting pretty around 3,000, you can make an assumption that it's probably happening on console as well. Maybe not this exact same variance, the exact same percentages, the exact same numbers, but this trend of players, the player numbers plateauing and people not leaving anymore, that is probably holding true on Xbox as well. I don't know the numbers on Xbox. You can make whatever assumption you want, but whatever numbers we got right now, they are not falling barely at all right now. And this is the worst Halo Infinite has ever been. Issues galore, content still missing, 10-month seasons. Like, this is probably the worst Halo Infinite will ever be. You can't, it would take a considerable amount of effort to fuck this up even further than it's already been. And this is kind of a crazy sign. The fact that we're still retaining players at this level with all these issues, that's nuts. This is the benefit of Halo Infinite being free to play as well, because what this means is there's nowhere to go from here but up. There's a lot of people that I know personally that were waiting for fixes, for content drops, for whatever else before they pick this game up or even give the multiplayer a chance, right? This game being free means those people have no barrier of entry to come back in or to come in for the first time once they hear better, you know, PR or whatever about this game. That's another huge issue with Halo Infinite, is the PR is terrible. Some of the worst I've ever seen. Worse than Battlefield 2042's PR, and that game had terrible PR. Like, PR is really important, and 343 kind of threw all their goodwill out instantly when this game launched, and they're still just that PR is just plummeting, and I don't understand. Like, everything they say just seems to be the wrong thing, and it's kind of crazy, but hopefully they can turn that around, because PR is just as important as like game features. It's actually kind of nuts. Look at Overwatch 2. That game has terrible PR, but the game itself is fine, right? Aside from, like, you know, launch issues and stuff. We'll talk about that soon. So Halo Infinite, though, player base numbers are fine. And then something else happened. Cyberpunk. Holy shit, Cyberpunk player numbers are incredible. 300% increase in September, around the same time that the anime came out, coincidentally. That just goes to show, A, PR is incredible. That's it. That's a great resource, because all it took for Cyberpunk to make a comeback was a good TV show. That was it. Imagine if Halo TV show was good. Like, imagine if that was actually a decent show. My God, like, maybe we would have seen a big boom in player population ages ago. But fortunately, we all know what happened in the Halo TV show, so less we talk about that, the better. But Cyberpunk is the poster child for, like, terrible game launches, like absolute bottom of the barrel game launches, and that's making a comeback. They've hit 20 million units sold. They've announced a sequel. they're moving forward with production on the DLC for this game. They're sitting pretty super high player numbers. Even honestly, even before the anime came out, their player numbers were not bad, especially for a single player game. Like, they were easily hitting 10,000 player averages for the last year, which is kind of nuts. So yeah, that's another factor to it. They already just had more players to begin with, but the fact that this is a single player $60 game and it's able to make a comeback like this, look, if Cyberpunk can do it, Halo Infinite can do it, and that's all I really have to say. How would I do it myself? Well, aside from increasing the number of updates and the frequency and impactfulness of those updates by any means necessary, the main thing I would do is treat Season 3 like a relaunch. Honestly, just put all your resources into Season 3's launch. Put as much content into that thing as you can. A progression system, because this multiplayer game doesn't have a level system in 2022. Crazy. And just like treat that as a relaunch, like a nice proper rebrand for Halo. Be like, hey guys, like this is Halo Infinite Season 3, brand new relaunch, like Overwatch 2 or Fortnite Chapter 2 or whatever. Like we're treating this as its new thing. It's gonna be huge. Come play the game again. Maybe give some better rewards. Some I don't know, just something like that to just really entice new players back in, and really work on like those bugs and stuff too, like the bugs, the lack of features, content. Like work crazy hard from right now all the way up until March, and then get on that 3-month cadence as fast as possible, because what you need to do is when those new players come back for the winter update in Season 3, you need to keep them. I'm talking like mid-season refreshes and seasonal drops. Like we should be getting content pretty frequently. It shouldn't be 3-month seasons and then nothing in between. Like it needs to be seasons and then like cool events, maybe a forge map in between to like refresh the content, that kind of stuff. That's how I'd fix Halo Infinite. And I think honestly, with some good PR and proper content and fixes, I think this game can make a comeback. Before I was completely unconvinced, but after seeing Cyberpunk, if they can do it, any game can do it. Battlefield's making a comeback, Cyberpunk's making a comeback. It's crazy. This is unfortunately just the reality of the gaming industry that we live in right now, is that a game can come out as broken and unfinished and as completely as a mess as Cyberpunk or Battlefield or Halo Infinite and still make a comeback. And I don't know if I feel good about that or not, but all I do know is that Halo Infinite has so much potential, and now it's up to the team behind it to really tap into that potential and give us a proper game. I do not think they should end support for this game. I think we need to see what this game can be like for the long term. I do not want to see another Halo game for like this entire console generation. Like the Halo Infinite needs to be it. This is Halo going forward, and they need to continue working on it, make it as good as they can, give us all the content that we deserve, all the features we deserve, all the bug fixes we deserve. They've got a lot of like technological debt to work through. That UI, oh my god, the UI. So there's a lot of work to still be done, and I don't want to see them get this game into like a playable state and then abandon it. That's not what I want. I don't want to get one more year of Halo Infinite support. I want that 10-year plan that they were talking about. And I don't think it should start from launch. I think we need 10 years starting like March of 2023. Like from that Season 3 where things are supposed to be pretty fixed, that's when they need to start that 10-year. We need to be getting like regular content for a long time for this game. And by the end of that, I guarantee you this game's going to be amazing. So that's my thoughts. If Cyberpunk can do it, anyone can.